Hi, this is Lilith Eeckels, Garden Girl at Two Peas and a Bucket. Welcome to your Friday series, Seeing Double here at Two Peas. Today I'm going to show you how I created this colourful layout and card, and I really had so much fun putting this episode together. So here's all the material I used for my two creations. So first of all, for my layout, I printed out a little picture of my two youngest boys. I also took out some chic tags, which I didn't use in the end. I've also got a stamp set from Amy Tangerine and some Zing embossing powder. This one is black metallic. A few embellishments, and then I've also got a die cut with this chevron shape. As for the papers, I've got some paper from the DIY shop collection from Crate Paper. I've also got stickers and papers from the Happy Go Lucky collection from Echo Park Paper. And as base, I'll be using a paper from the Lucky Charm collection from Dear Lizzie. And I'll also be using a few stickers. So that's all for the supplies, and now we can start creating. So let's just have a closer look at the layout itself. So it's a really colourful, fun layout with lots of little elements and lots of layers. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the basic design. And the basic design is the die cut, the chevron die cut, and I'm going to layer onto that. I'm going to put one of the journaling cards from the Happy Go Lucky collection from Echo Park Paper, and it's the one with all the little banners. And that was the card that really inspired me to create this layout and the card itself. I really loved all the overlapping banners. So once that is placed, we're going to cut all the other little elements. And here I'm just cutting my photo to the right size. I'm going to choose one of the die cuts from the Crate Paper collection. And I'm also going to cut out the little love letters from that paper as well. Okay, now that I've cut out those little love word and the triangles from the paper, I'm going to add the little tag I cut out and also those little letters. So this is how I usually create a layout. I'll start off with the base and then just add all the elements as I work. So once that has been done, I'm going to cut out a few other journaling cards. I'm just going to choose those I like. I might not use them all, but I'm just going to get those all cut out. I really love the card with the ampersand, but I thought I'd just cut out the shape itself and use that on my layout. And I'm going to place that onto the layout just to the left of the photo. Okay, I'm going to take another journaling card. I really love this one with the little polka dots in all these different colors, and at first I thought I'd just slip it beneath the die cut, but that didn't work. And then I saw in one of that there was a larger journaling card with these lovely colorful stripes, and I added that. And the little journaling card with the little dots, I'm just going to slip that behind the photo like so. I also wanted to use some ribbon from I think this one is from the Dear Lizzie collection from Lucky Charm, and I was fiddling around with that, but it didn't work. So now that I've got my base all created, I'm just going to staple those pieces down, and then I'm going to add the elements I already placed early on. So I'm just going to put the photo on some foam dots, and then just stick the ampersand to the left. And here I'm playing around with the ribbon, seeing where I'll put it. So now that is done, I just punched out a few shapes. So these are just scalloped circles, and I'm using the journaling cards and just punching out the colors I like. So I'm just adding a few little circles to break up the horizontal lines, and I'm going to use these little banners from the sticker sheet from Echo Park Paper. I just loved the little banner design and really wanted to work with those. So I'm adding a few little banners and using some foam dots to add a little bit of dimension and pop. and just cutting them to size, as it is a really long banner on the sticker sheet. And now this is the fun part. Once we've got our base design, we can start adding all these little elements to the layout. So I've added a few stickers. I'm going to add a few little buttons. Those buttons are from the Lucky Charm collection. And I also wanted to use some wood veneer. As you can see, although I'm a pretty organized person, my wood veneer isn't organized at all. I just love it to have it in a bowl. I think it looks really pretty. So I'm just going to take out a few little chevron shapes, a few little stars. And here I'm looking through the embellishments from the Amy Tangerine collection. And I really love this little banner again, and I'm going to use that. So I'm just playing around with it, seeing how it looks on the layout. This is what I really love when I create. It's the fiddling, the trying out. And here I've taken another one of the die cuts. This is from the embellishment pack as well, from Amy Tangerine, and just cut it in half. I think it's a really fun way of using your die cuts or your embellishments. It's to cut them in half. I mean, I do that with stickers as well. So I'm just gluing down all the little embellishments. Here I'm adding the little love word, and I'm just making them overlap and using foam dots again so that they just pop off the page. So this is just the fun part, just playing around with all the little embellishments. And usually my motto for layering is just layer until you can layer no more. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm really happy with how the central cluster is coming along, and so I'm going to stick down all the little embellishments and all the elements that I haven't glued down yet. And once I've done that, I'm going to use my sticker sheet and create other little clusters on the borders of the layout. And when I was looking at my sticker sheet, I saw this lovely long diagonal striped border sticker, really colorful, and I took it off the sticker sheet. And what I saw was there was this really fine strip that was hanging onto it. So I thought I'd use that, and I just stuck it to the left hand side of the paper. So it's really a scrap, but I thought it looked really fun and a little quirky, just a really tiny detail. And then the other sticker I just used to ground my page, a bit like washi tape. Now, to create the edge clusters, as I call them, I'm going to use the same techniques as I used earlier on. So I'm going to use my punches and just punch out a few circles, and I'm going to layer those with other little embellishments, but on the edges of the layout. And this is going to help me create a flow over the layout. So my eye will be guided from the top to the bottom, or the bottom of the top to the top. And I really like using this on my layouts, and it's a feature that is quite common in my work. And it's just something, I don't know why I do it. There's probably maybe an explanation. Something like balance, pleasing to the eye, but it's just a really fun way to add some more detail to a layout. So I added a little bit of ribbon, and I'm going to create my title. So my title, it's all the little texts I added, but it's also the love border and then these stamps. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp that onto the layout, and I'm using some of the Zing embossing powder at this metallic black to create the U. And these stamps are a bit, if you're a perfectionist, it's a bit difficult to stamp with them because sometimes you have the borders that show. So once I'm happy with how that looks, I'm just going to emboss that with the heat gun. And I'm going to add a few little elements. So here I'm just adding a bit more of the wood that I also used on the central piece. So I'm using all the same elements but in different places and creating these small little clusters. And when you want to create clusters, this is a really nice idea. It's to pick the same elements and maybe use smaller versions or just a little bit less and try to repeat the same patterns or the same design elements. And that's just a really fun way of adding detail. I'm going to add a few little splashes. In here I'm just using India ink. It's a really dark color, and it's just a really fun product I love to use. And I'm using a little spoon, a little coffee stirrer for that. I'm going to use this Amy Tangerine sticker sheet, and these are really fun stickers because they're a little bit see-through. And I'm adding these little stickers along the way. And I really love this photo of my boys because I was so worried when I was pregnant with the youngest that Robin would feel a bit left out, and they'd just get along so well, and just wanted to tell them I love them. I'm just going to add a little bit of journaling, and my layout is done. So now let's just have a look at the card. So the card is created with the same principles. So again, I wanted to focus on the banners, on the little wood veneer elements, and just this kind of layering of the different products. So I cut out this journaling card. I really loved that everything was already ready for me, and I'm going to say hi. And so what I did is I'm using the same technique. I'm just going to emboss the text, and something horrible happened when I was using my heat gun. I just put it a bit too close to the paper, and you probably can't see it, but it started to darken a bit. And so I thought when adding my splashes I would hide that, but it just didn't turn out. So you'll see later on what I did to fix that. So yet again, because I didn't have the die cut anymore with the chevron, I'm using some of the leftovers, so the little chevron shapes, and adding that to the side. And here I'm going to create my little banners again. And what was really fun when I created this video, because I normally don't do the seeing double video, is that it was just really easy to create this card because everything was ready and I just had to take it out. I might be doing this more often. So I'm just going to place all the elements and glue them down. And this is just a little bit fiddly with those little chevrons. That's why my glue pen comes in handy. And I also used some of the pop dots on the banners. Here I'm playing around with some of the stickers again, just seeing how it looks. And in the end, I'm not going to use the sweetie. Just didn't look right to me. I'm adding a few of the little wood veneer stars. I might have to get some new ones because I'm running out of those. I use them all the time. And yet again, I'm going to use the little circle shapes, but what I did was I cut them in half. So I just punched out a few of those little circles and just added those to the layout. And then there was this cute little sticker which just repeated the word hi, and so I just glued that onto the card as well. So now, as I said earlier on, I did mess up a little bit with when I was stamping the word hi, and as I am a bit of a perfectionist, I decided to stamp it again. And I'm just going to use a journaling card that I didn't end up using, and I'm going to repeat the whole process. Just stamp, emboss. Now this time I was really careful not to burn my paper. So once I had added the zinc embossing powder, I carefully heated it with my heat gun. Then I cut out the sentiment using a craft knife and a ruler, and then I added that to the card. I noticed there was just a little bit of something missing, and so I doodled a border around the sentiment, and then that finished off the card. Thank you so much for watching this Seeing Double video series. I had so much fun creating the layout and card for you, and my challenge for you this week is to use banners and clusters on your layout and card. Don't forget to upload it to the 2Ps gallery, and thank you so much for watching. This was Lilith Eeckels, Garden Girl at TwoPeasInABucket.com.